So after two good comeback wins in Tampa, Toronto shits the bed at home in front of their fans. I've never seen such a rabid fan base with such a listless, apathetic group of players. I really feel sorry for Toronto fans. I'm a Toronto fan, but I'm used to it. Been a Toronto fan since I was 5 years old in 1980, as long as I can remember. But there's all these this young generation of Leaf fans who are now sort of getting all excited and being disappointed and getting all excited, And it's old hat, really. I noticed there's a divide between the old guys and the newbies, and the old guys know the score. And you can sadly see people like Steve Dangle and Leafs Nation, Zach, at least Digest Zach. Good guys, but really you can see them slipping into where the old guys like us are at. And it's a shame. It's a shame. That's the Leafs. Now, Justin Hall's gotten a rough ride. What I try and do on this channel is give a different perspective. Whether I'm right or wrong, I do my best to be accurate. But to give something different, a different perspective. You'll never hear me blame players and get upset at players, because I think that is too reactionary and it's ignoring the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is, as I say ad nauseum, Hall is on the team because of bad decisions Dubas made. Now, there's three at least very obvious ones. Number one, the Muzzin trade. Now, you can say, nobody knew that Muzzin was going to get injured, yeah, right? But when you trade young defensemen for defensemen who are pushing 30 plus, you're taking the risk that that 30 plus defender slows down, which is normal, has kind of better positional play because of the experience, but also depending on the way they play, that they can have injury issues. And you'll see that with Morgan Rielly in the next 6 years of his $7.5 million contract. Is he going to improve? Don't think so. And is he any good to begin with? 3 goals in a season. He's got 3 goals in the playoffs. Good, but whatever. Point being, you trade Muzzin away, right? Okay, so you trade for Muzzin. Muzzin loses the puck to Paul against the boards in Game 7. Paul wins the puck, has the space to go in on Campbell and scores. And everyone blames Campbell. The alternative view is, why isn't Muzzin the guy we traded Grundstrom, Dursey, and a first-round pick for? Grundstrom, Dursey, who are playing with LA and giving Edmonton, one of the best teams in the league, a damn good run for their money. And a first-round pick for Muzzin, who's now gone. Right? And Grundstrom's pretty good. I've watched him. He's not a bad little player. And Dursey is developing into a solid defender. The pick was Bjornfoot, who I haven't seen on their blue line in the playoffs. I suppose he's still developing, or he wasn't a very good pick. Now, I don't prescribe to saying it's 1-for-1 in terms of, we could have kept that draft and it would have been Bjornfoot. But because LA drafted Bjornfoot, then that pick was no use to us, because Bjornfoot isn't playing regularly, let's say. We would not have necessarily picked Bjornfoot, and ostensibly, our great GM would have picked someone better. Maybe he would have, So, it's a lost opportunity. And would Dursey be better on our blue line than Hall? Gotta say yes, right? Gotta say yes. Bjornfoot, I don't know, I haven't seen enough of him. Muzzin is not an option, right? So we're left with HOLL. Okay, so you say, well, where's HOLL? Where did HOLL come from? He came from our farm system. He came from the Marlies. He was 26 years old when we brought him up for the first time. There is a reason why players stay in the AHL until they're 26 and don't come up. And we saw that last night because Tampa fleeced HOLL twice. Samsonov being a 1-6 goalie that we're depending on to go into a playoff where we've given away all our picks, spent the farm to try and win this year is a whole other story, but that's just annoying as hell. But Tampa's backup to Tanner Jeannot comes in, shoots the puck across, skates around HOLL. Same thing, who was it for the first goal? Paul? I don't know, it wasn't Paul. Anyway, whoever it was. Was it Killorn? Skates around Muzzin. Muzzin misses the check, right? Hips into the board, etc., etc. So, like, that is what HOLL is. This is my point. He's always been that, and there's no point in getting upset at HOLL game after game after game. The point is, Dubas put us in a position to have to use him because of the cap and because he traded away Dursey. Another reason he had to trade away a pick to dump Marleau's salary. Right? So everyone's like, oh, it's okay, he gave away a first, Marleau was told. Marleau still played another year. He wasn't good value for money at $6 million, but he played another year. He was okay. Lou made that signing. Wasn't the best idea in the world. He was good for the 2 years he was with us. Had Dubas not signed John Bloody Tavares, we wouldn't have needed to get rid of that first-round pick. And perhaps that first-round pick would have been a defender. How about that? So, never mind that. Let's say, sake of argument, I'm wrong. We shouldn't have kept that pick. We had to sign JT. We really needed a second-line center because we had to get rid of Kadri for Kerfoot. Don't talk to me about Barry. We had to get rid of Kadri for Kerfoot because Kadri got suspended. Kadri won a cup, right? Another bad decision. So, let's just say all that's true. We had to get rid of Kadri, and we had to sign JT for $11 million. That was our only option. And then we had to get rid of that first-round pick. We just had to. Let's move on to the third step. We have a draft pick in 2020. We are in desperate need of defense. Everyone can see it. Nothing special that I'm saying. I don't think anyone would disagree with that either. Dubas drafts a 6'4" lanky winger from Russia. Oh, he's a center. Now, he passed over Schneider, who was available. 6'3", 209-pound right-hand shot defender. Exactly the bloody position we needed. No, we don't want him. Goulet. No, we don't need him either. Let's take Amarov from Russia, lanky centerman. Because, why? We don't have Matthews, Tavares, Kerfoot, who's supposed to be our third fucking line center. Oh, we need Amarov. For what? The fourth line? Like, for what? You know? God, would Schneider look good on our defense. And for crying out loud, it wouldn't be HOLL there at the very least. You know? Now, nobody could have foreseen Amarov getting sick and blah, blah, blah. It's fine. But we could foresee that we needed a goddamn defender. It's just unbelievable to me. The stupidity of that man is crazy. So, I don't get upset at HOLL. I harp on Dubas. And in a way, I hope we lose this goddamn series against Tampa so they can get the fuck rid of Dubas and we can start building a team with whatever it is we have left. UFAs this summer, that's half the team. Samsonov, who can't really play in the playoffs. Murray, who's broken and we have for another year at 4.5. It's going to cost us $3 million to get rid of. Matthews and Nylander, who need to be signed next year. Marner and Tavares, who, oh God, we aren't Tavares, but who have contracts coming up the year after. And we have no draft picks. It's a fucking mess. And the only way that mess is saved, from my point of view, is if HOLL doesn't cost us the series and Samsonov doesn't cost us the series, and we actually get out of this series, which we're in danger of not doing, and we go to Boston and we beat Boston. I mean, Florida's still in it, but if Boston pull their socks up, they're a dangerous team. I've seen them play. They're so well versed in what they're doing. You know, they're no nonsense whatsoever. It's never like, oh, Boston decided to take a night off and we got to get another guy into like a Ryan O'Reilly, you know. So, you know, we spent all those draft picks on HOLL, Achari, Lafferty, and then we signed Shen. Good. I mean, that's good. We should have been doing this 6 fucking years ago, putting a fucking hockey team together instead of a bunch of goddamn figure skaters. You know? Malgin for Mason Marchment. What the fuck is that? You know? Another stupid move. HOLL protected in the draft over Jared McCann. McCann has scored 40 goals for the Kraken. HOLL gave up how many? 2 last night. It's... The stupidity is just beyond belief. And that any Leaf fan can sit there and try and concoct an argument for Dubas in support of Dubas is just beyond me. You've got to be an absolute idiot. Seriously. There's just no argument for the guy. And not because of this year. Oh, he signed some players. Yeah, he signed some fucking players because he's about to get sacked, and he finally, the stubborn ass, realized that he's not going anywhere with fucking Engvall. You know? And Malgin and these floaters. We've got enough on the top 2 lines. You know? I mean, Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander are not crash and bang players. This is not Matthew Tkachuk. This is not Braden Tkachuk, you know? These are floaters who score. They are not grinders. They're not playoff players. They're like, even Kucherov's tougher. You know, I mean, Matthews has improved, but Marner, Nylander, Tavares, sorry, no. So, we are at a position where we've lost 6 years in a row, and that's 6 in Taiwan. We've lost 6 years in a row in the first round in pathetic fashion. There's no argument about that. How do you defend that record? Nobody cares about the regular season. It doesn't matter, you know. And from my point of view, we're in the position where we've given up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths to get McCabe, ROR. I forgot. I'll just get McCabe. Acciari, Lafferty. And then we got Shen. Those are 6 players who I think everyone is happy with. We can all agree they are the kind of playoff performers that we saw in 93, 2004, and the kind of fucking guys who can get in there and win a series. It's a last-ditch effort to try and paper over the cracks that are weak-minded, weak-willed. The key point, weak-willed players that have populated this team for too long. And I don't blame Kerfoot. He's a third-line center. That's all he should be. That's fine. Kerfoot plays third-line center, plays the defensive game, 10 goals a season. It's what he was in Colorado. It's what he's been in Toronto. Don't harp on the guy. You know, don't get on his case and make him feel bad about himself. Like, that's not supporting the team. Dubas, fine. Dubas is the one who fucked around with the team, but the players, they are what they are, you know. So for me, this team has to get to the conference finals, at least to make giving up those draft picks worthwhile. It's a last-ditch effort. I didn't agree with it. I said at the time, don't let Dubas trade away our picks. The bloody fool has a press conference, and he says, oh, I'm calling everyone to a press conference. So they say, why? He goes, oh, no reason. I just wanted to talk to you guys. Oh, okay, well, Dubas, we're 3 weeks away from the draft, or the trade deadline. What are we going to do? Oh, well, I'm not trading anyone. It's like all the GMs in the NHL are that stupid. Luckily some of them were, and we got some good trades in. But you know, I don't know. It's the team might, in a way, to be honest, be better next year because over the summer we've got a chance to add a couple of grinders, like hockey players who can, like the Spetsas of the world, who was brilliant, the Geos of the world, McCabe, O'Reilly, not Morgan Riley. I don't like him at all. He's a liability. Like, not the Wayne Simmons who can't play hockey anymore, bless him. But a couple of solid players, we could be looking good next year. Don't think we can sign O'Reilly and Samsonov. That's a huge problem. What are we going to do in net? Go with Wall. Go with Wall. Give him his time next season to play Shalgren. Who cares? Give him NHL experience. Because screw Murray, he's a waste of time. And let Wall come in slowly. And by the playoffs next year, he may be. And I think we should play him now, to be honest. The guy's great. Like, seriously. I don't like throwing young players into Toronto Maple Leaf teams because I've seen it. Young goalies. I've seen it so many times when we burn them out. But, yeah, he's better than Samsonov. No question. I think most people would agree with that. So we could be better next year. We'll see. But we have no picks. And we have... What is our future? I don't know. But to make all those picks we gave away worth it. And I don't subscribe to picks don't matter. I think that is a retarded thing to say. Like, people on some forums are like, oh, Jeff, you don't know hockey. I'm like, and then the same people will be like, oh, picks don't matter, we got to win now. It's like, and then at the same time, they're like, oh, Nyes is going to save us. I'm like, Nyes was a second round, 52nd pick. Like, it's just, it beggars belief, the like complete lack of knowledge and intelligence and basic argumentation, right? It does beggar belief. Picks matter. Picks are what build teams like the Blackhawks and Tampa and the Leafs. All of our top players were draft picks. That's what we built the team on. Morgan Riley, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, all top picks. Rasmus Sandin, can't remember, he's 38th? Second round? Something like that. Liljegren. That's the other thing to say. Why on earth is Liljegren not playing ahead of Hall? Like, we trade Sandin for no reason, for cap, because we're trying to win now. Like, because we signed Riley, who can't do his job, which is to defend a bit and score. He's got a total of 6 goals between the playoffs and the regular season. Like, and then Sandin's gone and Liljegren goes, well, I'm not happy. My buddy's gone. And Nylander's been sulking ever since. It's a shambles. You don't give 2 generational players plus Nylander plus Freddie, who's a good goalie. You should, like, every team has a goalie who gives up a couple bad goals every series. Even Vasilevsky this year and last year. Freddie's a good goalie. He's solid. He's solid enough that if you put a decent fucking defense in front of him and not Justin Hall, that he's going to get you far. He's better than Darcy Kuemper, and he was anyway. Our second highest save percentage in our Leafs history, and burnt out by the playoffs because we overplayed him. Where the hell was I going with that? You wasted, like, I mean, people are like, well, going back, why do you go back? It's the past, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not the past. It's Kyle fucking Dubas's record. Like, when someone fires you, They don't say, oh, but you were good yesterday. They go, okay, 2 years ago you did this, and then you did this, and then you did that, and then they'll go over your entire record. And his record stinks. We had Connor Brown, Zach Hyman playing on one of the best lines ever in the NHL. Brown is a great two-way player, kind of guy we need, better than Kerfoot. We had Trevor Moore, scored a game-winning goal against Edmonton in the playoffs. Great third-line defenseman, settled in. Took him a while for them to find the right line for him, but they did, and he settled in. He's a good player. We traded him for Campbell. Campbell's gone, so we lost Moore basically to rent Campbell for a year. Like, where is Dubas's fucking judgment, you know? We gave away Curtis McElhaney, let him go, because Gareth Sparks was the next big thing, and he wasn't. Like, the litany. But you had this good team, you know? You had McElhaney and Freddie and Brown, Moore, Kadri, the three young draft picks. Morgan Riley was playing decently. And we needed to get rid of Gardner and shore up our defense. That's all we needed to do. So if you were patient, you draft Dursey, you draft Sandin, although you don't need Sandin and Riley because they do the same thing. You develop Liljegren, you don't sit him on the fucking bench at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like, you play him. He's your guy, you play him. But if he's not, you trade him. You know? If you don't trust him. And you develop a defense slowly and surely. And you re-sign Freddie. He's good enough. You know, Carolina's the second best team in the league this year. And Freddie's there sharing the net with, can't remember his name. You know, don't say Freddie's not a good goalie. It's just a stupid thing to say. So, this is on Dubas. And I love the Leafs and would dearly love to see them make a run. Put Joseph Woll in net, go for it. Samsonov's not good enough. Joseph Woll stole the game against Tampa at the end of the regular season. Put the fucking kid in. I'd love to see us make a run. I think a conference final, if not a cup final, is the bar. And I think Tampa's in the way still. And they've outplayed us this series. Make no mistake, Game 3 should have been theirs. Had it been, it would be 3-2 up for Tampa now, but they got their backs against the wall. They're tough. We have the firepower to beat them. We have the defense. We don't have the goalkeeping. So if Vasilevsky shows up, they win. Simple as that. But beyond Tampa, there's Boston, if Florida lose. And beyond that, there is either the Devils, the Rangers, or Carolina, most likely. I think it'll be Carolina because their defense is so bloody solid. And good luck against them. I think the final would be easier. You're going to have probably Dallas. Could be Dallas. Could be Edmonton. But that's the bar for me. If you give away all those picks for all these rental players, we got McCabe one more year. You know what? I'm never a fan of trading a first-round pick for renting a guy for 2 years. It's putting yourself in a very precarious position. And the reason you had to fucking do it is because you got rid of Dursey and you didn't draft Schneider. And you gave away the pick when the Marleau giveaway sweepstakes. But you think about it long-term, not short-term, right? You're like, okay, McCabe, we have to get McCabe because we got to win now. Whoever that first round pick is, and you've got a 50-50 chance in the first round, if they're an NHL starter, they are going to play for you like Matthews and Marner and Nylander for 6 to 10 years. And you're giving up that chance because you want to win now. And what happens if you don't win now? It's a waste. They could win next year. We'll see. The chances of winning this year, I think, are very low. I've said it from the start. I picked Tampa in 6, which is wrong. But you think about it. You have McCabe for 2 years. If he plays well and you lose, he still goes for a higher price. If he plays, you can't re-sign him, right? After the 2 years. So it's this year and next year only. So it's only 1 more year left, really. It's not 2 more years. So the end of next year, when Matthews and Nylander are up for contract, well, they're up for contract, they're eligible in the summer, you got to sign McCabe as well. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. You've overpaid for Riley when it should have been, you should have traded him away and put Sandin in there at $1.4 million. He does the same fucking thing. But at the end of next year, you lose McCabe, and whoever that first-round draft pick is going to come into the league the year after for Chicago. Chicago is going to build their team, and that player is going to be around for 6 to 8 years. I don't like it. I think it's reactionary, short-sighted, dim-witted. I don't think there's a rush to try and win now. I don't buy that. If you had, over the 6 years, made some decent moves, and you can say, if you want, well, Jeff, hindsight is 50-50. No. I said from day one, sit Nylander's ass down. Because the attitude is, oh, Dubas is going to come and do whatever we want to keep us happy. And I'm saying, no, mate, sit the fuck down. We're going to give you a bridge deal. Matthews, sit down, bridge deal. Marner, bridge deal. That's it. You have to be a strong GM, a strong manager. It's the same in business. And you don't go giving away big contracts and put yourself in a bad position. So this is what I'm saying. Like, and I said this with Marlowe. I said when they signed JT, what the fuck are you doing? The second I heard it. I was sat there in the draft, like a lot of people, going, please draft Schneider, please draft Schneider. It's very clear. This is not backwards, looking backwards, and hindsight is 20/20. No, this is looking ahead. And now you're fucked when McCabe is gone, because then the D drops. You re-sign Matthews for $15 million. Where's the money for the defense? Should have. If you didn't like Freddie and you didn't think Freddie was good enough for this team, you should have fucking traded him and Nylander together for Vasilevsky or Shesterkin. In a package, right? Get a defender back, get a draft pick back. Because you've got a window of, from that point, from 2018, you've got a window of 5 years, 6 years actually, 6 years with Matthews and Marner. What's the rush? Why do you have to trade Durzi away? What's your rush? Anyway, so going forward, you've got McCabe is going to be gone. Matthews is going to be too much money. Nylander is going to sit in. He's given himself a contract here, 40 goals. That wasn't an accident. He wants more money. People forget the first 2 or 3 years he played, everyone said, when is this guy going to actually try? Short memories, And he's going to go for big money. And what the hell are you going to do? You're going to be left with Tavares, Samsonov. If you're lucky, Samsonov's going to go for more money, though. How are you going to pay for him? You're going to have Wall and Murray and Shalgren. I like Wall and Shalgren anyway, luckily. Shalgren was solid for us. I mean, for a call-up, he was solid for us in October. So goaltending doesn't look too bad. Riley is overpaid, can't defend, liability. We saw that so many times in the overtime, the empty netter against Tampa in Game 5. What do you do? What do you do with this team? What do you do with this team if Boston smashes them? What do you do with this team if Tampa wins the next 2 games, which they're fully capable of, and we know they are? Cooper is a fucking awesome, awesome coach. What do you do with this team? Even if they make the conference finals, what do you do with this team? I mean, this is a team that could have put Tampa away last night at home with the fans just going nuts, dying for that 1993 vibe. For those of us who were there, man, it was fucking every second of hockey. We're on the edge of our seats with a beer in hands, shouting at the fucking TV. And the boys are going nuts. The Mike Eastwoods, the Crucial Niskis, the Osbornes, the Zezels, the Felinos, the Baumgartners, Borshevsky, Clark, Andrechuk, Gilmore. And the decor was, I can name them all. Like, I remember like it was yesterday. Because we believed in that team. And even though we lost Game 7 against the Kings, the year before we had a very good run as well. But even though we didn't make the finals, it was fun. And we believed in the team. And they gave it every ounce they had. And that's what we ask. Marner disappears in the playoffs. Matthews is kind of floating around. Like, oh, I don't understand this kind of hockey. He scores the odd goal, but he's not fucking Fkkkin, is he? You know, he's a Gretzky, he's a skilled player, fine, but you see what I'm saying? That passion is not there, and I think that's what Leaf fans want more than anything else. And I love Ryan O'Reilly for it. Acciari, it's Acciari, by the way, not Acciari. Shen, McCabe, good stuff, guys. Gio doesn't get enough praise. What a stud all fucking year long. Absolute stud. One of my favorite Leafs all time, to be honest. Those are the kind of guys you need. The Bob Rouses, the Elliots, you know? The McCowans, the Natrases. God, they were fucking rock solid, man. The McDonoughs. What do you do? What do you do with this team next year? Can you see that Dubas has put this team in a precarious position? And I think only by dumb luck Joseph Woll is going to take over next year and he can take us on a run in the playoffs. I think he's that good. If they don't burn him out regular season. If they don't go, we'll put Woll in 60 games. Okay, no, that's exhausting for like a first-year NHL goalie. He's got a chance. But there's so many UFAs, and there's Samsonov to sign, and Ryan O'Reilly, and what do you do? They're going to get rid of Bunting because he'll want more money. Ryan O'Reilly will take a hometown discount. Gio will take another year. McCabe's got another year. Riley, he'll be there. Brody, I don't know where his contract is at. I gotta check that. Let me have a look, actually. Sorry. Let's take a look, sorry. Brody's important, isn't he? Unsung hero. Next year is his last year. The year after, he's a UFA. So he's a UFA in Tavares and Marner's year. So another year of Brody, that's good. Liljegren is there. HOLL. The guy they got from Washington is fucking waste of space. You do have a 32nd pick, Boston's first-round draft pick. But whatever. I mean, that's future stuff. But next year, Bunting will be gone. We won't have the money. I wonder when Hall's up for contract. God, gonna give him $10 million. Thinking through, most of the players on. Let's check Acciari. Let's check Acciari. Sorry, guys. Acciari. Achiari's finished. He's a UFA. Yeah, Achiari's up. Yep, Achiari's up this summer. Fuck. Achiari's up. I bet you Lafferty's up. Who else? What about Yarncroc? Sorry for this. I should prepare this. Yarncroc's got 2 more years. Okay, so he's the year after JT. So, summer 26. So I think you'll see some guys disappear. They'll definitely have to sign Achiari and Ryan O'Reilly. I think they'll let Lafferty go. Kerfoot's on 3.5. Who else is down there? Zach Aston Reese. Yeah, so they'll let a few guys go and they'll keep the Ryan O'Reilly and Achiari. We could have a good team next year. Actually, I think we'll have a good team next year. I think we'll be better next year than this year. Because we'll let go of a few of those UFAs. We'll sign Ryan O'Reilly and Achiari for low-paying contracts. And then we'll fill in those gaps, and Dubas will, if he is here, will realize that we need those type of players. In a way, it's a shame if Dubas goes, because he now kind of understands that he can see that a Ryan O'Reilly, Achiari, McCabe can play playoff hockey. And would he revert to the Malgins of the world like he did in the beginning of this season? Fuck me. You know, he traded him away for Hunt. Never, played a game. I don't know. Malgin plays for Colorado. He's on the second line wing or something. Marchment's doing excellently in Dallas. Wouldn't Marchment look good alongside JT and then Ryan O'Reilly on the third line? Yeah? Long one, guys, but this is the stuff that I cannot express properly in a chat. The text is not long enough. What I see, unfortunately, fortunately, what I see is with Joseph Woll, if he continues to play as he has, our future is actually brighter than our last 6 years. Because I personally believe you build a team from the back out. And whoever the GM is has to realize that you build a defense. You need a Hedman. You don't need a Riley. And that's a massive, massive problem with this team going forward, Riley, because he can't defend. Hedman scores. Hedman stands up at the blue line. Hedman checks. And he's a fucking amazing defender in his own zone. One of the best in the league. And Riley's not. And for $7.5 million, I think Hedman makes $9. For that 1.5 extra, fucking hell, get a better defender than Riley. What are you doing, Dubas, And I think that is going to be an Achilles heel going forward. What do you do with this guy, I'm sorry, 3 goals against Tampa. We don't really need the defense to score very much with this team anyway. Well. It's going to be interesting. I think we'll be better next year. We'll be better with Woll. We'll make a cup run next year. And I think Dubas will be gone, and I think people will go, wow, it's Dubas' team. And it starts with the goalie. What is the saying? I heard on Zach's show on Leaf Digest, someone said, hockey should be called goalie. The goalie's that important. And Samsonov is 2-3-7 or 3-8 now in the playoffs. It's not good enough. Let's see, Woll. I think next year's our year. I think we'll make a run next year. Peace out, brothers. Love you all. Apologies for rants in the chats. And I love the Leafs. They're my team. I was born in Toronto fucking General Hospital. I sat in the Golds in Maple Leaf Gardens in the 80s and watched Miroslav Fricher and Rick Vive and Walt Podubny and Paul Matier. I think I went to a Paul Matier game. Rick Sanquois, Bester. All of these guys I saw play. And Podubny, he was really nice. He gave me like 4 or 5 pucks. And I went before the game. My dad took me down. They signed all my program. I think my mom still has it. You know, it's not the organization or the team. Well, the organization who owns the Leafs have a lot to answer for. Shanahan has a fucking hell of a lot to answer for. What the hell he's been doing the last 6 years, I have no idea. Dubas, it's on his head. He's the GM. You don't hear me say a word about Keefe. Dubas was a rookie GM. Keefe was a rookie coach. Don't put rookies in when you have two generational talents who should be making a cup run. You don't put rookie GMs in, and you don't put the Campbells and the Samsonovs of the world in. You don't go with that in your playoffs, particularly against Tampa Bay. So, I love the team. I love the Leafs. I don't blame the players. I don't blame the organization so much. God knows why they keep running Dubas back. You guys keep paying money to go to the games. I don't know why. I stopped going in the late 80s. I was like, Ballard's not having my money. Someone's got to stand up and say, this is not good enough. You keep buying t-shirts, jerseys, hats. I don't buy any of that shit until this organization learns that it's got to put a cup-winning product on the ice. Lou Lamoriello took the Islanders to the conference finals twice since he left Toronto. Dubas hasn't won a round. The proof is in the pudding. It's all there. And Lamoriello lost to Tampa Bay, who won the cup. Fair fucking dues. Toronto lost to Montreal, who went to the cup finals. I suppose, eh? We had them on the ropes, down 3. They were down 3-1, eh? Unbelievable, this team. No, it's these stupid moves that infuriate me. And we need a better GM. And had Lou stayed, we would have seen a cup final, at least a conference final, probably a cup final, and probably a cup, had he stayed. We had Matt Martin. Matt Martin went to 2 conference finals with the Islanders. Gave him away. Bye-bye. I have to check what we gave him away for. We had Kadri, won a cup. We had Freddie, second best team in the league. We had all kinds. Hyman, top line and the best line in the league. The list goes on. So, I think Dubas has cocked it up. And in a way, I want us to lose against Tampa to get the fuck rid of the guy and bring in a GM who has some fucking clue what he's doing.